So I only can do 9 minutes. Oh Jesus. So
You can make parts in it.
yeah, Jacob outlined a plane from a computer over there.
It's a rough like layout. So if it gets screwed up, you easily can probably print it out like a design or something, paste it onto here, and then cut it, like put it with the paper here, and then cut around it. But this will actually work, even though it may look like garbage.
It's fine. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm the one fucking recording.
It is perfectly fine, and then if you cut into it enough, you can literally just kind of pop it out.
And then
Like,
we're gonna do.
it's already coming out.
I'm selling my plan. We are playing. We're gonna put the horizontal stabilizers here, and we're gonna put the wings right here. After we get done cutting out this part.
Okay, so we already did the rear wing, or the rear horizontal stabilizer. Now we're just going to go do the wing. When you cut it out, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is really just so we can slide it in. If you look on the back, you can see probably barely that we're able to cut through all the way. This is so that we can actually punch through it, kind of like a puzzle piece, like a cookie cutter. We're just kind of shaping how we want our cut to be, and it doesn't have to be perfect either. It just has to be enough to where you can push it out easily. And then where's my little tool at? Use this, kind of push it through, and then it'll come out kind of like butter. Boom. So now you have two somewhat clean cuts to insert your different wings in. Bingo. How wide it needs to be. Just be exact as you can. Don't need to be perfect. So we're gonna go just a little bigger so we can shave off any excess. There we go. That's perfect. So we know that's how thick we want our wing to be. Now we essentially can see how big we want it, how long we want it to be. So with this, if we were to say, get it right about there, that's the middle point. Doesn't have to be a perfect like 10 inches, but it could be maybe 10 and a half. So it's a pretty good size right there. Just gonna make a mark right here. Another mark right here. That way we can go ahead and get to the cutting.
Tutorial with Jacob. Say hi.
Hi.
I just got your mouth saying hi.
Hi.
Nope.
I'm just gonna go ahead, make a cut. Make sure it's somewhat level. Just go all the way up. If you start to go out, you can go the other way. It's not the safest, but it'll keep it from being too off. Then we have a line here that will help us see. And we can actually break it off, but I'm not going to do that right now until we get the length right. So now we need this, that. I'm going to take our template again. This will be a little easier to line up because it's flush with the other side. Sure, yeah, that's pretty much perfect. And then we're going to once again make a cut. Make sure you're applying pressure. Boom. You got a somewhat straight line, but what we can do is we can use this for the back of the wing and this for the front. That way we can shave this part down because it's a little off, but like you say, you can literally just shave whatever off you want if it doesn't fit. So now we're going to essentially try and come back down. use smaller cuts. I'm going to use more pressure. That way you can try and actually break it off, just like that. It's a pretty clean cut. Put that to the side. Now we have the big line. This is going to take a little longer. Maybe not, because of how clean it is. Plus, when you're going down the grain, it's going to cut a lot easier than going horizontally. See, it literally two long cuts and that's it. And we have our wing. Now you can start to kind of put edges on it if you want to round it out. I think what I'll do now is see how this starts off straight and then it starts to elevate just a little bit. We can easily just start shaving that off and make it flush with the rest of it. So, yeah. So, it's always best to make your wing before, like, shape it the way you want. This is, right now I'm really just testing to make sure that it comes on here without glue and that it sticks. But, I mean, as you can see, it's not too bad. With a little glue, you can put some at here, right here, before you start making actual adjustments. And then the reason that we made this wider, just a few, like a half centimeter wider, so that it stays in here, so it's not going to come off during flight. If you make it exact, this will start to shimmy like this, but it'll be the entire wing, and when you start testing it, your wing will actually start to slide to one side, and even if it crashes, it could come out completely. Bingo. Alright, let's start making this fucking wing.
So what do you need a measuring tape for, Jacob?
So the reason you need a measuring tape here is because, so this is literally, I almost cut it exactly at 11 inches. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfect because you can kind of move it and kind of eyeball it. But what we essentially can do here is actually move it over to where it's just a little bit half and half. So you want it in between, right before you hit 11 inches. You want a little bit on this side too. And we can move it up to make it a little more exact, make it equal. We just, once again, we can eyeball it. And then half of 11 is what? 5.4 or 5.5 inches?
5.5.
5.5, so we can pull this down a little bit and make a nick or a little notch with our X-Acto knife. That way we know a pretty good rough estimate of where the middle of the wing will meet the fuselage. So we take it, we look at our notch, just slide it in. You want it to be in the middle, just right about there, and there you go. It may not look like it at first, but you just gotta keep on trying to eyeball it. That way, when you actually put flaps in, or if you really need flaps, you can go ahead and do it. But with this just gives you, if you just kind of look at it, doesn't need to be perfect, but when you line it up, it'll still be equal. So, yeah.